Real quick message: how to tell that you're in the presence of these mean girls that's in these covens, Eastern Stars or Masons, because they want you to beg. They want to see you squirm. They want to see you beg for certain positions. So, for example, right? And it's not who you know. I mean, it's not what you know. It's who you know. So I had got a job interview with a great company, um, good benefits, good pay, to be a social worker at their facility, to be a counselor basically. And I was overqualified for the position. All you needed was, a resume, recommendation, um, references, a GED, and some experience. And so I was overqualified for the position. I sent her my high school diploma, sent her my resume through email. I could feel she loved me. She was like, "Yes, everything looks good on your resume. Everything looks great. Come in. I want to interview you immediately." I went in for the interview, and I was sharp as hell, y'all. I put on my nicest blouse, everything, not too much, little makeup, little lip, settle. And she loved me. She was like, "Oh my God, you're so beautiful, and I love how you got yourself put together." And we was just talking, and I basically had the job. She said, "So, part-time would be good for you, and then if full-time comes available, will you be open to that?" I said, "Yes." I basically had the job. This woman looked down at my ring finger, and in my mind, I said, "Oh God," because now I'm picking up on negative energy from her. And she asked me something that I have never been asked before in an interview. But this is why they require these, Masons and Eastern Stars and their family to get, you know, in positions like this, so that they can determine where the money goes and who gets the jobs and who struggles and who suffers and things like that. And if you don't want to get in, high positions for them and be doctors and lawyers, so they can mess with your paperwork, and they can get paperwork on you, and then from their doctor, their daughter who became a doctor, she's an Eastern Star, they can drop, mom call, "Hey, I need documents on so and so and so. I needed to say that, they mentally unwell, they da 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 da." She's going to draw those papers up. They're going to go before the court, and you're not going to be there because you're not going to know anything about this court date. And they're going to say, "Yes, see, this is this person's mental health," or "Yes, see, this person has, an incurable disease. We couldn't find them. They're out infecting people, living the vida loca, but here's the paperwork. We got consent from the dad," and then the dad will be at court, or your mom or your sister or one of your close relatives to vouch that, they're your overseer, so they won't be breaking the law by having your medical records. And that's how they do that. And if you don't want to get degrees, to become a lawyer, doctors, nurses, or in high positions, no matter what position it is, they still want you to be in a high position. Like if you work at Wendy's, they want you to be the manager of Wendy's, because if they say, "Okay, we're tracking so and so, we want you to do so and so and such," when they come in, da 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 da, we want you to give them a hard time. We don't want you to poison their food, but we just want you to give them a hard time. You get what I'm saying. So I said, "No, I'm not married." And she said, "This position is just, no, it's not gonna work. It's just not for you. And I said, oh my goodness. She did not give me the job based on. And you know what I did? When she said that, I said, okay, thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for, giving me the interview. Thank you for allowing me to come and speak with you. Have a good day. And I shook her hand, and she just was so flabbergasted. Like, she thought she was going to blow my mind, but I ended up blowing her mind because, okay, I don't care. Next, this door didn't open. That means I got to knock at another one, right? And they don't like that. They want you to get, oh my God, what am I going to do? I was really depending on this job. Ma'am, please, please. Women want you to lick their balls too. Yes, they do. They want you to beg, get on fours and beg as well. They love it when you beg, when you plead, when you squirm, when you worm. They love it. They get your energy from that. They still not gonna give it to you. And so I blew her mind. And she didn't like that I was okay with rejection. So I get up and I'm like, enjoy the rest of your day. And she's like, wait, miss, email me next week. Something, might become available, another position might. And I'm like, okay. So this is what they do. They don't like when you're okay with their decisions. I gotta keep mine. But I had that happen to me before, but I was actually working for the airport about 4 or 6 months, right? And the manager called me in, and they like, we're gonna have to let you go and everything like that. I was like, okay, thank you for allowing me to. I took my badge off. I was like, thank you for the opportunity. I really enjoyed it here. It was a nice ride. It was a nice thrill. Like, I really enjoyed the environment. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the position. And he was like, I just seen him like explode inside of himself. And once again, I got up and he was like, no, keep your badge. And he told me to go over to the main office, the direct office, and ask them, can they rehire me? Ask them, can I keep my position? I was like, I said, why would I do that and you just fired me? Why would I go and beg for my job if you just let me go? Like, this is what it looks like. Be okay at them turning you away. Be okay with rejection. Rejection is for protection. Rejection is for redirecting. That means you need to redirect your energy somewhere else. And at the time, I had been praying for a new job anyways because I was missing my children. At that time, I felt like I wasn't seeing them enough. And my kids' daycare at that time, they loved me. Every time I would drop my babies off, they would tell me how they love how I pack the baby bags, they love how I pack their book packs. They love how well-mannered my children are. They love how respectful my children are. They love how, on Valentine's Day, I had my children, I let them go in the store and get flowers and candies for their daycare teachers, and they was able to take it to them. And, the hiring manager said, you can come on, you can start today. And I said, what, are you serious? I told her, I said, I miss my kids so much. I'm spending a lot of time away from them. She said, I can give you a job right now today. I love you. I love your energy. And I was like, you love me? She was like, yes, girl. You always come. You're on call. You're a good parent. I know if you take care of these kids, you can take care of these kids. She's like, you can start today. And I said, would you be able to like put me in my daughter's class? Or, you know, she said, we can't do that, but I can give you a bus route to pick up your kids. Because the daycare my children was going to at that time, the daycare bus would come and pick them up from school and then transport them to the daycare while I was working. She said I can, because she said she could give me one of my kids' classrooms if it becomes available, but it wasn't available. But look at God. There was a position, there was a bus route available for me to go and pick up my children from school. I started that very same day. Parked my car in the parking. I signed them papers so fast. She gave me my bus and the route and the directions. Y'all don't understand how much joy it brought to me and my kids when I opened them bus doors and my child saw my face. She was able to see my face after school. Because at that time, I was working full time, and I would get my kids around like 6:30, 7 o'clock, and then we would go either, you know, fast food, get some fast food, and then we home and we doing homework. I'm trying to catch up with them, and then it's sleep. So the joy of my kids seeing me when I opened them bus doors and they, mama, and you know, and now we on the bus and we singing, and you know, they able to tell me about their day. They able to show me papers. I'm able to sign them. You know, I'm not tired. And you know, I was just one step away. If they needed me, then a position became available, and I was working in my daughter's class. So we in there, we doing what was the thing? Just Dance that had came out. I don't know if it was on the Xbox or what, but we was in there. All the kids, I had them doing Just Dance, and when I got off, my children came with me, and so they don't like when you're okay with them rejecting you, with them regurgitating you, with them canceling you. They don't like it. They like when you beg, plead, squirm, worm, and you panic, and you act like they're your God and they're the only way, they're the truth, and they're the light. They love that. So that's my real quick video.